That's just a partial clip. I'm going to show you the rest of a Haitian man there just got fitted for ankle monitor. That's what they're doing to the Haitians that lost and the Syrians that lost their TPS status there in Springfield and other places around here, thanks to a ruling. And if you have a heart, if the love of God is in you, this is going to hurt and break your heart. And if you don't have a heart, I hope that it touches you in some kind of way. So take a look.
Can we ask him a question?
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking, isn't it? And before those of you, it meant temporary, it meant this or that. You know, we've talked about it on the previous, some messages back, those of you that's been following me, where I made a video showing, as you see it pop up right here, showing the history, a quick, brief history of Haiti and how the United States has played a role in destroying the place. And the United States is responsible for destroying a whole lot of places around the world. We can't keep our hands out of other people's business, and we love to meddle. And when you don't cooperate, as I said in that message, we will assassinate your leader, we will bomb you to death, and cause all kind of destruction to leave you to fend for yourself. So before you want to argue with me about that, you go take a look at that video or study the history of Haiti and the destruction that this nation has caused upon that place. So back to this situation here. You know, there's the comments. When I saw that video, man, there was some hateful comments in there coming from all types of people. But someone made a comment that stood out to me. They said, you know, a lot of these people, a lot of them, they just went to church Sunday. They just went to church. They running around with the crosses on their necks. They're running around Bible, and they want to tell everyone Jesus loves you, as we talk about. They are quick to always want to quote scripture and talk about the love of God. But their love is only for one group of people, themselves. And others of color, they don't want that. It all boils down to racism in its highest form. Now, let me show you a clip right here where I want you to take a quick listen closely to this guy talking about having a meeting with Trump and what he said about mass deportations. Who wants it at the end? Listen close.
What catches everybody's eyes are the pictures, whether it's the group of us praying with Trump or, I posted my individual picture with Trump, which that was wonderful. But the most important thing I did that day on the White House campus was this roundtable discussion with other faith leaders with the White House Faith Office, where we got to actually talk about and advocate for policy that matters for this country and for Christians. That's a behind the scenes thing. We're not going to be posting pictures of that. I'm not at liberty to say what other people talked about. But, one of the things I did in that meeting, Aaron, I think this is really sort of important, different posture that CBL brings is I told the White House Faith Office, I think Christians want to see mass deportations. You'll see a lot of sort of evangelical organizations attacking Trump's immigration policies and priorities. They're astroturf, they're left-leaning, they're using evangelical in a way that is not really historically accurate. But I'm telling you, I think Southern Baptists and Christians want to see this happen. And so the work of CBL is giving me the opportunity to do things like that. And that makes much more of a difference, I hope, in the long run than even a picture with the president.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? He said the Southern Baptists and anybody else is left-leaning, anyone else is not part of this. And many of you that's been following me for a while, you know I've made several messages on the Southern Baptists and how I believe that they haven't really changed. They ain't really changed. And I'm not done making a message or two on them because I believe they've just done more spiritual damage and continues to do spiritual damage within this nation. So remember I was just saying in the last message, we're smoking them out. And I love it when people just expose themselves just like that. He said the Southern Baptists. What was the Southern Baptists all about? They refused. They did not want to give up the slavery we know that went on back in the day. They wanted that to stay in place so much that they split off from the North and decided to form their own thing. And after all of these years, it took them all the way up into, as we talked about, many years at the late 90s, mid-90s or so, before they finally apologized for their racism. I think it was 90s, something, maybe I'm wrong, or 2000, but whatever. It was in this modern era of when they did their apology. But I'm not done with them just yet. Because, we'll get back to them on another message. Because all of these people, like he talked about, that's with this faith office, a lot of them, and the ones that are around, as I harp on Franklin Graham, he's a Southern Baptist. Robert Jeffress, Southern Baptist. And have you heard any of these pastors that claim that they care about people, care that they love people? Did they say anything when this happened?
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Remember that? Remember that saying this about the particular Asian people, that they're eating pets, dogs, and cats, all because some woman comes up with this lie that just got, and J.D. Vance and them ran with that. Put these people's lives in danger and things. And it's a shame, the disgrace that what is happening within this country right now with evangelicals at the helm. And I'm gonna show you. I got two clips to show you here really quick without making this video long. But I want to show you, being that I just made that point. There's a guy that has he's called the Friendly Atheist, is what his name. Now, just because he's an atheist don't mean that he harps on evangelicals and all of this a lot, and he makes a heck of a good points. Just because somebody is unsaved in our realm, for us that are believers, don't mean that they can't speak the truth. I had when I was younger, I had an old gentleman tell me, a wino on the street corner can give you some advice. So don't you sit back and just disregard what the man, when I'm getting ready to show you what he has to say, what he's saying about, this, how people have been turned away from the church, this younger generation, because of what's happening. And and if this man, and I'll say this, and I'm getting ready to get to the clip. If this man here, this Friendly Atheist guy, I was, think about if he ever was to get give his life to the Lord and become a missionary or worker for the Lord. Oh, I believe he can do some powerful work, because he's a very intelligent person in a sense. We're not talking about between believing in God, but he can see what's happening. And unfortunately, the church doesn't see it. So listen to this.
Donald Trump may be doing more to drive young people away from Christianity than any atheist ever could. You're damn right I'm jealous. A recent study surveyed more than 2,300 Gen Z adults ages 18 to 28, and 48% of them agreed with this statement: Christians' support of Trump has made me less likely to go to church. Nearly half of them. Now, some quick caveats. The study was conducted before the 2024 election, and Trump has only become more extreme since then. So imagine what that number might look like today. Also, the study is unpublished, so we can't see their methodology yet. We just have to take their word for it. And also, this survey comes from the Billy Graham Center Research Institute at Evangelical Wheaton College. So we really need to see the methodology. But the larger point is obvious. White evangelical Christians made a Faustian bargain with Donald Trump. They gave him their votes and their loyalty and their moral credibility, and in return, he gave them Supreme Court justices and political influence and access to power. And no scandal has ever broken that alliance. Not the hush money, not January 6th, not Epstein, not his cruelty toward immigrants, not even his refusal to demonstrate the basic qualities Christians claim to value. Gen Z has spent its entire adult life watching non-denominational and Southern Baptist and conservative Catholic churches basically become arms and extensions of the Republican Party. So when you ask young people if they want to attend church, many of them hear a different question. Do you support Donald Trump? Because that's what conservative Christianity represents now. Not Jesus, not the Sermon on the Mount, not love or humility or compassion. Christianity means Trump and culture wars and Christian nationalism and political power. Evangelical leaders thought embracing Trump would strengthen Christianity. Instead, they taught an entire generation of Christians that their morality was negotiable. I guess it worked. They got the political victories they wanted. The entire country is on fire just the way they wanted it. But they're also getting emptier pews. So, I don't know. Who knew there was a silver lining to this administration?
Nothing but the truth. I agree exactly what he has said. Everything in there, as far as what he said with how people, this is why when you listen to these people, when you listen to these YouTubers, these little nationalist type people, these MAGA prophets, MAGA preachers, MAGA, all of these, Christian leader people, the ones that promote this nationalism, promote the flag, promote Trump as Cyrus, promote all of these types of things. When you listen to them, next time I want you guys to observe, for those of you that may be against what I'm saying right now, that's just fine, because I'm going to go forward with the Lord. But take a listen to them. You won't hear them praying for anybody of color. You won't hear them praying for that. You won't hear that. You won't hear them praying for the less fortunate, as I said. You won't hear them praying for the poor. You won't hear them doing any types of prayers like that. There's no prayers. None of them, the Franklin Grahams and all of them too, the other leaders, when that happened, they didn't come out and say, Mr. President, this is not what we believe. We do not believe putting people's lives in danger. We believe everyone is created in the image of God, and we're not going to have that. We're not going to have the mistreatment of others. We're not going to do that. So now let's look at this next clip of this woman. That Haitian woman, she don't know that she's getting ready. She's a home care aide or so, doesn't know that she's getting ready to go into Mitch McConnell's place and has no clue. And look what happens.
Are you a friend of the family?
Huh?
Are you a friend of the family?
No, I am a home caregiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been here before?
No, this is my first time.
All right.
But I can know.
I think so. Do you stay overnight?
Yes.
You're in home. So you stay from now on?
Huh?
You stay from now on?
Yeah, I stay for the night.
Just for tonight?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Hi, man. How's Mr. McConnell doing? Does he seem like he's in good health?
You see how she run out of there? After I don't know if she was there all night, like she stated that she was supposed to be there for the night, but whatever, that fear that she comes storming out of there, I believe that she was threatened. Probably her job could have threatened to send her out of the country or so. And I said, how fitting would it be for these hateful evangelicals, hateful people, towards people like this, where this is an industry where they are within. When I was a chaplain and stuff years back, these nursing homes and stuff, they're full of these workers wiping your tail. And you know what? Wouldn't it be fitting for some of these so-called self-righteous folks, including the evangelicals, to end up in a situation where they're in a nursing home or wherever they are, and in comes that immigrant to wipe your behind. In comes that immigrant where you don't want them to leave. Because when I was doing the chaplain work, the amount of people that would say to me, they just were, because my job was to talk and to sometimes be company in a conversation to people. The amount of people that would come to me and set up and say, my daughter, my son, my family dropped me off here. And they had me sign some documents and I haven't seen them anymore. I haven't heard from them anymore. See, and all they were waiting for, your family members and whoever, waiting for you to croak so they can go through all your belongings and go through everything that you gain here on this earth, because that's all you were worried about anyway, a lot of these people. Gain from this earth, not storing up any types of treasure in heaven. And they set up and they're lonely. And that immigrant is the only person that you have to talk to. How ironic would that be for many of these people? Because I believe many of these people that have treated people in the hateful, evil ways, they're going to suffer. Some of these people are going to suffer a heck of a fate. You want to talk about, I watch a lot of the crime shows and ID Datelines and some of these things. And you get some of these people that are like, whether they're serial killers or real evil people. And sometimes it's how ironic they'll set up and end up when they're in prison and come down with something where they die a horrific death of some sorts. I believe that you are walking on dangerous spiritual territory if you go about mistreating people the way that these folks do. I believe that, because here you are. Who's behind who's the company? Who's putting money in their pockets to put these monitors on these people? Who's behind that? Ask that question. Takes me back to the old slave days, when escapees and people weren't allowed, as you see some of these pictures here where they were to mark you. What a time we live in. And I don't even have time to show you the video clip of people being force-fed and things going on. So that's a whole nother message. But the whole point of this is that these evangelicals that has been running around for years now, many of them decades. I go back to the days of Jerry Falwell and prior to that, but let's keep it right into this era, to 70s, late 70s, 80s and up, when Jerry Falwell and his buddies were at the helm. This is the type of stuff that they never cared. They went to the Supreme Court because they didn't want colored people to go to, between Bob Jones University and him and Thomas Baptist his church or so, wherever his school he had going on, Jerry Falwell, they didn't want people of color involved. And they went through a backdoor channel to the Supreme Court, trying to play it and use abortion as a way to come in and sit there. And that's their hate and their spirits, the spirit of Falwells and all of these others from these eras back within the Southern Baptists early on. All of these old nasty mindset, hateful mindset folks set up there, carries on and lives on today. It's not over. It's not over. This country is racist, and and nasty to the core. And it's a whole lot needs to be done. And God is going to sit there, and I believe that he's going to show that he's God, because many of these people believe that they are God. This is a little solution that I thought of, something that I believe that could possibly, like, with all of this going on like that. So let's say, for example, I thought like, hey, wait a minute, I've been harping on churches taking in all this millions and not doing anything for the communities or so. So you got people, you got these certain groups. Okay, if they come, we know certain territories, places around the world are just, you go back there, it's a death sentence. And why couldn't Franklin Graham send all of these people that's got these connections to the president say, you know what, Mr. President, have a heart, please. Have some compassion, please. Look, we've got enough donors. We can build some type of, barracks type, style living. It won't be ideal for the moment, but there's plenty of land. We got plenty of land. Build these barrack style, warehouse style, for people can live, and let them be able to grow some food, and people can donate, whether it's clothing or medical services, and church people can donate and let them stay there on this, territory for a little bit till we figure some things out. Why just be so, hateful and quick to do people like that? Many without, they set up, you got a pending case, or you're here legally and you get wrapped up for months and set up and go through. I mean, it's just crazy. And evangelicals is okay with that, because many of them, as I said, their hearts is just as wicked and dark. And I believe that, like I said, they're walking on dangerous spiritual territory. So the next time you see that so-called prophet, that so-called pastor, that so-called teacher that want to tell you about Save America, tell you about all of this the flag, tell you about Trumpet Cyrus, tell you about all of these things, look at their prayers. Look how they pray. They pray only for certain things that set up in basically the worship of the kingdom of this world is what it's only about in a man, as they continue to idolize people. And then they ultimately bring the attention back on themselves, and you won't see prayers for anybody else, because these folks are dark and hearts are wicked to the core. Evangelism of God is a channel where we talk about issues the church went away from, tackle Satan and his tactics, punch him right in between the chops. My name is Maurice Braxton. Until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.